up? What's up? Everything good?
Hey, buddy.
Good, man. Let's roll. So why don't we tell everybody who are you, man, your background and everything quickly.
All right, who am I? You know what, let's kill the music because, you know, YouTube royalties get pissed off of that shit. Who am I? My name's Richard Cooper. I guess I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I got stuck in the middle of my life working for a corporation for a while, which kind of sucked. You want to do like the origin story, like go right from the beginning?
Sure, man. Let's do this.
You know what? I was always in business for myself. I was always doing something. Shoveling driveways, cutting people's grass. I had a paper route. And even when I was doing the paper route, I would outsource. I would actually outsource a lot of the work to some friends of mine as well. So I did that, and then in high school I had a car detailing business. I'm a car guy. For those of you that don't know me, I'm sure we'll throw a link afterwards, but I have a YouTube channel called Entrepreneurs in Cars. But I had a car detailing business. It was a mobile one, and we would go pick up cars from dealerships and detail them. And then, you know, finish up school and I did what everybody told me to do, which was get a job and work for a corporation and get your pension and all that bullshit. And I hated it. I did it for like 10, maybe 11 years. I started out working at a friend's circuit board plant on a drill press, and that's a shitty job. So I looked for something in an office where I could, you know, dress smart, wear a tie and slacks, and, you know, dress up a little bit. And I found something, and it was a collection agency. And I had no idea how that worked, so I went through the interview. They hired me. Basically a sales job. You didn't have to know how to talk. And did really well. They promoted me. I left the place a six-figure manager because, well, what I learned there was you get hired for your resume and your talent, and you get fired for fit. So I got in a big fight with my French-Canadian boss, who was a bit of a ass. You know, we're cool today though, but yeah, and when packages were going out, head office in the US gave them to me, so I went home. Not a lot of money, and I decided what I want to do. I was 30 years old. I just moved into my first house, had a big mortgage, and had no way to pay it. Hold on. So, first thing I thought about doing was, let's open up an indoor go-kart track, because I like fast shit. Economics and the finances, that did make a lot of sense. And the guy that was going to finance it never did. So, sometimes fate falls in your lap for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the sort of thing that probably happens with you, and I've seen you talk about it in your videos too, right?
No doubt.
You got to be at the right place, at the right time, with the right experience.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing my taxes. I had my piddly ass package they gave me to when I walked, you know, when I walked away from that manager's job. And the guy that was doing it, what are they up to down here? And the guy that was doing my taxes, he goes, look, I'm just getting into mortgages. You worked in a collection agency, Rich. He goes, I got a guy that needs to pay off $50,000 of credit card debt, but I can only get him a second mortgage for about $30,000. So he goes, what do I do? And he throws me the credit report. I go, you settle it. You know, basically, you pick up the phone and you work out a deal between the creditor and the debtor to pay less than what's owed. And it's something that I had done before many, many times. You know, as a manager negotiating with the big banks and the credit card companies. Most people don't know that you can pay way less than what you owe. I put a DIY debt settlement book out on Amazon that basically walks everybody through all the steps.
You still have that on Amazon?
Still on Amazon.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah. But most people don't know that you can pay way less than what you owe. I mean, right now, here we are, May 2016, we got Donald Trump talking about negotiating the federal debt. Yeah. You can do it for your own personal debt. Anyway, so he throws me the credit report back, and he goes, good, go do it and charge a fee. So I did. I made like $3,000 for, I don't know, it was maybe 6 hours total work over the course of a couple weeks. And I thought, shit, man, this could work. You know, I did the math and the multiples. I'm like, I could build a multi-million-dollar business off this. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole lifestyle thing. I was really passionate about it. I was really fed up with working with the banks and credit card companies. So that's one of the tips I can give you, is you gotta be fucking passionate about it. Don't even bother doing it if you're like, you know, I'm gonna go play some Call of Duty and think
some,
about it for a minute.
But you had something key over here. It wasn't just passion by itself. You had actual skill set to go with that passion.
Yeah, you definitely have to be, like I said, the right place, the right time, with the right skills and the passion.
It's like for you and I, we're passionate about like rockets.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know about rockets? I can't make a business out of rockets.
They make a lot of noise and they fly far. They carry heavy shit to space.
That's right.
Yeah, so I did that, and I built this multi-million-dollar business that was very innovative in Canada at the time. Nobody else did it. Other people started copying me. It grew to about $4.5 million. And what ended up happening was, what I learned from that was, we started taking money away from banks and credit card companies because we were saving people so much money. So after about 10 years, we got on the radar screen, and they started noticing what we were doing, and they lobbied the government to change the legislation so that it would delay our fee and when we would get paid. So I did a video not long ago, and you and I talked about blockchain and cryptocurrency. One of the things that you and I talked about was, if you're in a business or if you run a business model that threatens another bigger entity, it's like you're this virus that's entered the body of this other entity, and like any other virus, the immune system will go and attack you and try to do something about you. And that's essentially what happened about 10 to 12 years into the business. So we had to restructure and reorganize the business. A lot of the competitors that we had disappeared. We managed to survive through some very clever restructuring, and we still do that today. I, for the most part, have pulled out of it, and I make YouTube videos for entrepreneurs and cars, basically giving people tips on being better in life, with self-care, with their business and all that sort of stuff. And I'm lender. I'm basically a lender, so I invest in businesses and loan opportunities and things like that, looking for coaching opportunities and a new business to create, and building it up from there. So that's what I'm up to today. I'm in a happy place where I've got passive income.
That's good.
And options.
And
the thing about money is it doesn't create lifestyle. It doesn't create, fancy shit, big houses with 10-foot ceilings and all the toys and all that. What it creates is options. It allows you to say fuck you to people that you don't want to do business with, people you don't want to spend time around. It gives you the opportunity to just say no. And there's nothing better than being able to say no to somebody if it does not align with your core value, with your systems, with who you are, and being able to walk away from it. Just walking away. I've walked away from multi-million-dollar deals just because they did not align with me, because I don't want to get involved in that horse shit. You know what's really funny? When we first came to Canada, this is where we lived, just over by the Plaza. Yeah.
This area's grown so much.
Yeah, it's totally changed. I used to fly kites in that park.
Nice.
So anyway, that's my origin story, boys. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good story. So Richard, let me ask you this, man. If you had to rewind everything and start from the get-go, what are some things that you do differently?
I would do it sooner. You know what? I get a lot of comments that I see on my channel, and people ask questions. It's always from younger kids, like, how do I get started? Do I wait for the opportunity to fall in my lap? How do you, just do shit that you like. Just stop doing shit that you hate and do shit that you really, that you'll do for free, okay? And then once you've done that long enough, look for problems to solve in that space. There's always somebody that's struggling with something. You're doing something that you love. Go and find a way to make money off it and add value. And if you don't, at least you're doing shit that you like. You'll learn that there's no way for you to make money at it. Let me give you a really good example. I've always loved cars. And a friend of mine, when I was in my 20s, needed a pit crew for a race in Mosport, which is a racetrack like an hour outside, just east of Toronto. And I volunteered. I had time, and I had knowledge, and I had, the ability to hop over a wall with a big gun in one hand with the tire hose and the tire in the other hand, and put it on the car. And there was a lot that happened that weekend for a day and a half. I got paid nothing. I put all of my time into going there and coming back, only to be exposed to a race crew, the entrepreneur that ran the race crew, to see how people dealt with, building these cars and racing the cars, and where the money is and all this sort of thing. And what I learned from it was, I had a shitload of fun, I had the experience, but there's no way for me to make a business out of something like that with the skills that I had. So what I'm saying is, spend time doing shit that you love, and try to find a way to turn it into a business, and stop doing shit that you hate.
But you hit on something really important, though, is there's a time and place where you have to master the craft and go in there and add value into an entity or add value into a company.
Yeah.
So most people, they're coming from this like I deserve model, just because you think you deserve something and you believe that all of a sudden you're gonna get this just because who you are.
Right.
Right? As opposed to like the number one question you should be asking yourself is like, who out there I can help? Like who's out there? Either a company, a person, anybody that I can actually add value to their organization.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can find ways to add value to somebody else's business or some other model out there, just go and do it. I mean, every success story that I've heard time and time again. I mean, okay, let's talk about Tim Ferriss. Everybody knows that name, right? How the hell did he get started? He started volunteering for nonprofits in the tech sector in the Bay Area in San Francisco. It was, you know, it was a growing economy. He didn't know people there. He didn't know what to do. But he had no contacts, he had no money, but he had a lot of time, he had a lot of energy to burn, so he burned it volunteering his time, and that's how he got exposure to all the amazing people that he wanted to.
Richard Koch talks about this in the STAR Principle and the book 80-20. He made about like $300 million, and it wasn't him starting his own company, it wasn't him starting anything new, it just, he had tremendous value when it comes to scaling businesses. He was an angel investor, so he found a STAR Principle he calls like a rising company.
Yeah.
He went in there and devoted all his life and career into that one business.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's happened over and over again. Zappos, Tony Hsieh, he didn't start up Zappos. You know, he was an investor, and then he went all in. He went balls deep on the business and threw everything into it.
Well, Tesla as well.
Tesla too, yeah.
You know, people don't realize this, but
Elon Musk didn't start that up.
no, Elon Musk didn't start Tesla. Like I think it's two guys that started Tesla.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk came around, and the rest is history. You know, it's the most successful car company in the last 10 years.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So is there anything else you want to add?
Just start early and just do shit that you love. Stop doing shit that you hate. I don't understand people that waste their time and their energy every fucking day. Life is so short. As far as we know, this is the only one that we get, ladies and gentlemen. If it ends, it ends, and that's it. You might as well do shit that you love to do and stop doing shit that you hate. That's my message for today.
I love it. So if people want to get your book or know more information about you, where they can hit you up?
Well, you can find the book on Amazon. Just search for my name or DIY.settlement. And the YouTube channel is where all my good shit is. It's my passion. I do it for free. I don't get paid for it, obviously. And there's like 150, 160 videos on there on entrepreneurial tips and just being better in life in general. So go check it out. Subscribe there. Entrepreneurs.
Right on. So we're gonna do a little bonus clip over here because we're driving in Richard's BMW over here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this beauty?
Oh, this was my success ride. This was my success ride. So I bought this car in 2010. I don't know. I've always had fast cars, right? Like I've always been a petrol head, always had fast cars, like to go quickly. I don't understand people that drive slow ass boring cars. Life's too short for me to drive something slow and boring. I don't know, 2009 M3 convertible, a few light mods to it, intake and exhaust, just to open up the breather, make it sound nice. And it's a lot of fun, you know. I've no problems with it. It's probably one of the most reliable and best cars that I've ever owned.
The BMW is a good company.
Yeah, and one of the fastest growing companies right now, actually, if you follow their stock. Yeah, they're doing really well.
Fantastic. You ever taken this on the track?
I have not taken this car on the track. I took the hardtop version on the track. It was a competition package, and it was a shit ton of fun. It's a great car on the track.
All right, man. Awesome. There you guys have it, man. Go check out Richard. Adios. Peace.